Hello everyone and welcome back to the Wellbeing channel. This is your host Dr. Vedant और आज हम बात करेंगे एक बहुत ही important, बहुत ही common topic के बारे में जिसका नाम है dry eye syndrome. Now dry eye affects millions of people worldwide and if you are one of them with those burning gritty sensation in the eyes with lots of irritation and discomfort, well, let me tell you, you are not alone. ड्राई आइज ये बहुत इलेबोरेटिव टॉपिक है. इसको हम कवर करेंगे एवरीथिंग इन डिटेल फ्रॉम A to Z. So stay with me until the end. It's gonna be a long journey. So we are gonna divide it into two parts. In part one, we'll talk about the basics of dry eye. Why does it happen? What exactly it is? What are the concerns? And how does it affect our lives? In part two, stay with me until the end of the video to know what's there in part two. And without any further delay, let's dive in. तो पहले ड्राई आई का थोड़ा बैकग्राउंड समझ लेते हैं. So basically consider your eyes as some beautifully crafted miniature ecosystems of which tears are the life force which are hydrating and protecting this ecosystem. Now any imbalance in this will lead to the symptoms we just discussed like irritation, discomfort, burning and gritty sensation. इसी का नाम होता है ड्राई आई. ये काफ़ी जनरलाइज डेफिनेशन मैंने बताई है आपको. सो इसको और समझने के लिए लेट अस डाइव डीप इनटू इट एंड अंडरस्टैंड द बेसिक पैथोफिजियोलॉजी यानी एक्चुअल मैकेनिज्म क्या होता है ड्राई आई का. लेट अस नाउ एक्सप्लोर द पैथोफिजियोलॉजी ऑफ द ड्राई आई, दैट इज बेसिकली ड्राई आई क्यों होता है. पॉइंट नंबर 1, रिमेंबर दैट ड्राई आई इज अ मल्टी फैक्टोरियल कंडीशन. दैट इज इसका कोई एक कॉज नहीं होता, बहुत सारे फैक्टर्स एक साथ एक्ट करते ड्राई आई कॉज करने के लिए. टीयर का नॉर्मल स्ट्रक्चर होता है आउटर लेयर ऑफ अ लिपिड विच इज ऑयली, then middle thickest layer which is the aqueous layer and innermost layer that is the mucin layer. Any imbalance in these layers will lead to dry eye. Additionally, if you have any inflammation या आँखों में कोई redness है, ocular surface खराब है आपका, that will again cause dry eye. Last but not the least, very important is the dysfunction or malfunction of the meibomian glands which are present in the eyelids, responsible majorly in causing dry eye syndrome. Now let us understand the types of dry eye and why each type is caused. Basically dry eye सिर्फ दो वजह से हो सकता है. One is decreased tear production यानी आँखों में आंसू ही कम बन रहे and increased tear evaporation की आंसू तो बन रहे but evaporate हो जा रहे. So depending on that there are two types of dry eye. Number 1 is evaporative dry eye. Evaporative dry eye का सबसे common cause है meibomian gland dysfunction. It is also known as MGD. Meibomian glands are nothing but oil secreting glands in the eyelids, upper eyelid as well as lower eyelid. If these go haywire, if they dysfunction or malfunction, then oily layer which prevents the tear from evaporation is not formed and that's why tear evaporate rapidly leading to dry eye. Second very common cause is if you are living in a very dry and windy environment, then again evaporation rate will be high. If you are working long hours in air conditioned room or if you are staring at screen for prolonged amount of time or hours, so you often tend to blink less which causes increased evaporation of tears leading to dry eye. The second type of dry eye is known as aqueous deficient dry eye. In this type of dry eye, the tear production in the eyes reduce. Now what are the causes? First and foremost is aging. With age, normal tear production automatically goes down. That's why leading to dry eye syndrome. Secondly, if you have medical conditions, most commonly autoimmune disorders like rheumatoid arthritis, Sjogren's syndrome or diabetes mellitus, in all cases, you will experience dry eye for sure. Dry eye syndrome is not just limited to cause physical discomfort to you, but it also affects your quality of life. You must be wondering how? Well, let's have a look. First and foremost, dry eye makes simple tasks like reading, driving, and even using digital devices very challenging and uncomfortable. Last but not the least, studies have shown that severe cases of dry eye is linked with increased incidence of anxiety, depression, irritability, as well as behavioral problems. Now let us address two important frequently asked questions or concerns regarding dry eye. The first is, does dry eye affect your vision? The answer is yes, dry eye affects the quality of your vision. Now consider the tears as windshield wipers which keep the surface of the eye smooth and clear, and that is the reason you can see everything very sharp, crisp and clear. Now if you have dry eye, this will not happen. You will have a lot of difficulty in focusing. You will experience blurred vision, redness and irritation, and this happens often after prolonged amount of reading or working on computer. Now, second FAQ that is concerned is dry eye a chronic condition or a temporary condition? Well, dono. Dry eye can be temporary or chronic. Temporary dry eye will occur if you suddenly go in a dry or windy environment. But if it is a chronic condition, that if it is persisting for a prolonged amount of time, then it is very important to address and manage it on a continuous basis. Now, why is it important to know this? Because if you are not taking care of the ocular surface, that is the surface of the eye, it is prone for long-term serious complications. So, if you are experiencing persistent headache, eye strain, burning, gritty sensation, redness, itching in the eyes, it's very important to consult an eye care professional. So that was it about part 1. We have covered the basics in detail about dry eyes. In part 2, we are coming back with an arsenal of treatment options. I'll also share natural remedies and lifestyle tips to manage dry eyes like a pro. So make sure you hit that notification bell, because I don't want you to miss onto important update on how to conquer dry eye. So until next time when I meet you again, see you around and goodbye.